Welcome back to the Core Cars News Tech Lab. Today we're going to answer one of your most common questions we hear from our readers and our viewers here on YouTube and over at corecarsnews.com. And this is, should I upgrade my old Roku? I got a few of them right here, and we get asked this all the time. Should we upgrade an older Roku to one of the newer ones? Is it needed? Is it going to do anything for me? So I'm going to try to answer that, but first, real quick, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. It helps us a lot because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing. Hopefully we can help you break free from the high-cost cable TV and still watch the shows you want to watch. So let's take a look at this. I got my Roku HD here. This is pre-Roku One. This is a relatively older Roku player. It was actually the Roku player that I first cut the cord with. This was the player I bought on eBay, used it to start my cord cutting journey. It was one of the early players that offered HD for Roku. Before that was SD. And I also got the old purple Roku Stick. This is the very first generation Roku Stick, and the Roku One from, I believe, 2012, 2013, somewhere in that time frame. So do you need to replace these? Are these players bad? Do they not work anymore? Should you get one? Well, let's answer that. First of all, right off the bat, these players still work. All these players still work. I plugged them all in. They all pop up the Roku screen here, and they all stream a ton of apps and a ton of content. So should you upgrade? Well, honestly, if it's offering everything you want and it does everything you need, no, there is no need to upgrade. Even though the purple Roku Stick, I would highly recommend not buying because it's painfully slow compared to the newer ones. It's several generations old, dated, and slow. It's still a very good streaming player. Same with the Roku HD. Now the problem with it is, like this Roku HD here, does not have many of the newest apps on it or the newest features. For instance, Netflix on it is an older version of Netflix. Doesn't work as well, doesn't have all the same features on it. The other problem is these are all HD. If you get a Roku player or a new TV that's 4K, I would highly recommend you upgrade. But let's really look at this. Should you upgrade your Roku 3, Roku 2, etc.? My recommendation to that is, if it does everything you want it to do, no. If you ever find like, hey, I want the newer Netflix app, or maybe there's some other new app coming out, new service that has a Roku channel that's not supporting your Roku player, at that point I would upgrade. Now, I know for many of our readers, especially with the Roku 3, are still very happily streaming everything they want. They're getting all the new features. That's great. So that's great. If you want to, keep going. There's no reason to spend money to replace a perfectly good working streaming player for you. Now, if you have a Roku player that's older than this Roku One right here, if it's from 2011, 2010, for example, the Roku 2 XD or whatever, at that point I would say yes, upgrade. Now, many of our readers say they use those older 2010, 2011 streaming players without issue. If you're good, you're good. But you will notice that some of the new features, like the feature free section, some of the newer updates to Rokus, are not rolling out to those older 2010, 2011 devices. Now, Roku has not effectively killed them, but it has made it so they're not really bringing new features to it. And the same thing has happened with some newer apps like Netflix and more. So just keep that in mind. Now, when should you upgrade? When would I tell you to upgrade? Now, two things. If you ever find yourself with a device that isn't doing what you want it to do, it doesn't have a service you want now, or maybe, hey, it's just not quite working right anymore, that's when you should upgrade. Avoid the temptation to run out there and buy a new streaming player because it's new. There's no reason to get a new Roku or a new Fire TV or Apple TV just because they're new. Now, Apple is a little different because they have much more of a history of saying, hey, that third generation Apple, we're really not supporting it. Apps aren't going to work on it. New apps aren't going to come to it. Roku's a lot better about that. Amazon's a lot better about that too, where they bring a lot of their older devices along with them as best they can to bring new features. About 2012 right now is the cutoff point where they've kind of said, hey, if it's older than 2012, we're recording this in 2019, so that's quite some time ago. We can't bring it, they're slower, they're not capable of handling some of the newer features. Just like probably your 2012 smartphone isn't quite capable of handling the newest features from Android or iOS and more. So at that point, I would upgrade. If you buy a 4K TV and you have one of these SD devices, HD devices from Roku, which don't offer 4K, at that point I would upgrade. So I hope that answers your question. It is one of the more popular questions we have because, let's be honest, the Roku 2s, 3s, and more are excellent streaming players that will do everything you need and keep going. Honestly, maybe if you ever, let's say, buy another TV for a kid's room, or you buy a game room TV, maybe take that older streaming player, maybe take that older Roku 3 or Roku 4, move it to the game room, put the new Roku Ultra, the new Roku Stick Plus in your main living room device. So keep that in mind. I hope this answers your question. If you have a core count related question you want us to answer, leave us a comment. I may answer it in a future video like this. But we really hope that this video helps answer your questions about when and if you should upgrade your Roku. Thanks for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It helps us out a lot. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high costs of cable TV. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.